Welcome to the Backyard Professor Responds videos. Second video of the day, Saturday, December 28th. I'm at about 6 o'clock in the evening, 6:30-ish. And I believe in UFOs. But, yeah. Let's take a look at some ideas here that I found online that I think are quite intriguing. Some of them are quite intriguing, and other ones are truly intriguing. Let me show you what I mean. I did that. I showed that without comment, of course. A lot of people like to make comments while they're doing the videos, and I probably should jump on that bandwagon too. But let me just say something that's interesting. When you look at that, you see a UFO flying around and interacting with another UFO, don't you? Especially if you believe in UFOs. Now, I believe in UFOs, but we happen to know the provenance of this particular video. Number one, the flashing lights that are in a group is not a UFO. Number two, the other light dashing about around it and contacting the other UFO is also not a UFO. This is a drone that attached a light on a string, some kind of a string, and you can see the lights tilting back and forth. It got that string to start moving around, and then it stopped, and then it undid it and went around. That's what it is, folks. This is not a UFO. So our lesson here is to, just because there are lights in the sky does not mean that there are aliens invading the earth. Yeah, it's this kind of stuff that makes me skeptical. Now, someone might just be outside having fun, but someone else who videos stuff like this and screams UFO at the top of their lungs and, oh my gosh, this is a wild new, are they gearing up for war? I mean, you can ad-lib all sorts of ridiculousness onto this erratic acting UFO, because it's not a UFO, it's a light on the end of a string being toted by a drone. You notice there were no sounds, of course, because if you turn on the sound, you're going to hear the drone. Duh. Yeah, clues like this, very important. Let's take a look at another one. Now, this one is obviously a short, but this is quite intriguing. Now, this UFO is wild looking. Man, is it on fire? Is it, what's going on here? That looks weird. That looks really interesting. Intriguing. Never seen a UFO do that before. Is it getting ready to wreck? Is it on fire? Is it dropping stuff? Is it spraying the sky with some kind of a mind-numbing agent or whatever? No, actually, this has a very prosaic explanation as well. And it's really important to always keep our brains turned on when we see things. Now, the people who were videoing that from a distance apparently identified it as a bizarre UFO, perhaps in a battle with another UFO that we couldn't see because it was invisible, whatever they said. I don't even know. I don't even care, because someone in the comments to that said, that is not, I repeat, that is not a UFO. I was at the wedding where this happened. I know what happened. That is a plane with a bunch of fireworks doing a fireworks display at a wedding. Something unique and interesting. Someone really put together a fun wedding party. I wish I would have attended it. I'll bet they had good cake too. So again, there is an anomaly in the sky, and it is erratically flying, behaving really odd, doing twirly, whoop-de-doo, back and forth motions, whatever it is. As a general rule, and I'm saying this as a believer in the UFOs, as a general rule, your very last explanation needs to be a UFO, not your very first. As a general rule, that's going to keep you out of trouble 95% of the time. Sincerely. Let's take a look at another one of these little jewels. Now, this one is interesting. It's supposed to be in South Africa. And quite frankly, that looks like a pretty good UFO. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. However, understand one thing. Someone in the comments did say, yeah, that's real footage and all, but for the love of Pete, why is it still so fuzzy? Because this is not an orb with some kind of a force field around it or whatever. This is simply a metallic looking craft. Now, I don't know what to make of it. I really don't. That is quite cool footage. I personally think that's fun to look at. I really do. However, that does not mean it's a UFO. Just because it's fun, just because it's interesting, just because it looks like a classic UFO, does not mean it's a UFO. It could be. There were a lot of people in the comments to that one that were absolutely convinced. I'm not. And once again, if I can share my philosophy, echoing Diane Pasulka, echoing Gary Nolan. In some respects, I do believe Jacques Vallée is on board with this as well. It isn't a necessity to come to any hard, fast conclusions of any kind at all. When you see something weird, or when you video something interesting, or when you observe your cousin who came back from vacation in Hawaii and saw the weird lights at night, doing funky things over the volcanoes, etc. It's irrelevant. Sometimes we crave the closure so that we can get the certainty. We crave that more than understanding what reality is. So just a little idea. Now, this last one is my favorite one. I can't help it. I like this guy. I do. I like him. I I do not find myself agreeing with him a lot. I sincerely don't. Every now and then, he really pulls off a good one. I don't know how he's doing it. And I know, see, that comes across as accusatory, right? And I'm not trying to accuse the guy of inventing this. I don't think he did, clearly. But his explanation is fun. It's interesting. He somewhat leaves it open, but he's trying to intrigue us and get us to believe that this is the UFO mothership. It's fun. It's fun. Let's take a look. Now, on this one, I'm going to leave the sound on.
sky. Something this large couldn't be real, could it? This is probably some sort of CGI. But then, taking a closer look, this video started to convince me that whatever this thing was, it might actually be legit.
What the f is going on? Watch this.
Notice how the glowing lights from the ship reflect off the snowy dark road. And watch closely as the tree line intermittently obscures and reveals this behemoth. Is this merely an advanced human-made aircraft, perhaps unknown to the public? Or are we glimpsing a visitor from beyond our known realms?
Come on, sometimes you gotta have fun, right? So yeah, knowing full well that at least half of these have a prosaic explanation, I thought I'd try to give it a 50-50. I don't even know if I succeeded. I don't even think I care if I did succeed. Half of them are obviously prosaic. 2 of them could be anomalous. This is the fun of the investigation. We don't know. We're looking. We're finding some cool stuff. And there's some creative people putting out really cool content. It's those who get caught with the, I don't know how to put this. I don't want to, it's not, you know, I call it UFO fever or whatever. I'm not trying to insult anybody, but really, we as a species, we have probably become a little bit too naive for my taste. And so I think part of my job as a fellow UFO investigator is to try to tuck my naivete in just a little bit. And because I want to know, and I know we all do. I get it. There's people out there on YouTube who are having so much fun with this hype and the excitement, and it generates lots of money for them and all. And I don't begrudge them that. I just can't do it that way. You know, I'm much more staid, probably way too boring, etc. But I want to know. And so when I see something that really, truly is obviously not a UFO, and there are hundreds of thousands of views and thousands of comments saying, wow, that's spectacular how you caught that UFO, I have to speak up, truly. So that's what I'm about. In the meantime, this one wasn't the most exciting expose, but it's a very necessary one. It's fun, it's interesting, and it's very, very important to do. Turn off our naivete a little bit better and begin to use our critical thinking skills a lot better. And we will be better off for it because we won't fall for the snake oil salesman at our doorstep giving us a magic trick of a demonstration for a product that is pure crap. Right? So thanks for watching the Backyard Professor video response. I will be back with more as I find it. You guys have a great night.